So let's look into more of the energies with regards to their spirit team. Let's look at their spirit team. What are their ancestors trying to tell us with regards to this relationship and that dynamic between them? Because when I was actually focusing on their energy and I mentioned that I would actually touch base with their past energies, I'm feeling like this is all a consistent energy for them. All of what was said earlier in the other part of the video is actually emphasizing something that's structured, I'm hearing, throughout the relationship. So I feel like there's more to talk about rather than the past. We're going to see what comes through from the past, but let's keep it moving and keep it flowing here. Ancestors, spirit team, thank you so much for being present here today with us. Can we please get a message for Justin Bieber and for Hailey Bieber in regards to their relationship? What was this relationship, I'm hearing, founded on? And as I was just touching base with my spirit team, I got this card coming through. This is the Tune In and Connect card. They're advising them to spend more time quiet. There's something about them always having to fill up the silence or fill up a room. And I don't know if it's because when they're together, they feel like they need to keep their home occupied. It might feel lonely at times. And they might have like guests over, parties and such to help ease the mood and to make it feel more homey. I'm hearing homey. That's really important for them. Nonverbal communication though is important. They need to tune in and connect in those moments of space where there's quiet, of tuning into their ancestors, letting them be heard. They're wanting to speak to them. They have so many messages for them. I'm hearing donuts. So I'm going to tell you guys all of what I know, right? I know only a little bit, but I remembered seeing something in passing with regards to Justin and Hailey going to a Krispy Kreme, I should say. For some reason, they're mentioning donuts, like them going out for donuts. Something about them going out to satisfy some loneliness in their home. They can tune in and connect this way. This is an opportunity for them to get more messages, to get more information and insight for themselves. They're also telling them to connect with water more, to go out by the water a lot more. The water has something to say with regards to the flow, the ebb and flow and the tides. I feel like there's something about nature showing them that what they need in their relationship, which is to allow themselves to flow and to allow themselves to see how things can look and seem and appear so turbulent. But there's always this I'm hearing cleansing, but also like this peace and serenity that comes as well. There's always like up and down. There's something about them needing to be more consistent with just accepting the tides and to not push or pull against it. The water has a lot of messages for them. Nature spirits have a lot of messages for them, but they also need to hydrate. What's weird is I'm getting the term one drop rule. What's interesting is the one drop rule is something completely different. It's in regards to race, but for some reason I'm getting the one drop rule in regards to like water. I don't know if they have some, like, they don't really get in the water as much, but something about them needing to get past that. I'm getting a lot more messages for them, guys. So let's keep going. Balance is necessary. Balance yourself. They need to look at the direction of their life and where they're growing. They need to allow themselves to see this as a season and to also accept and to nurture the season, right? Not having to look too much or too far forward. I feel like, as we said earlier, Justin's focusing on trying not to look too far forward into the future, but instead to be present in this very moment. I feel like he's learning. And I feel like both of them are needing to see this from their ancestors. They want them to flow through this life stage and to accept and embody that life stage, and then allow themselves it's like the kindness to accept what they learn in this life stage, what they've learned in previous life stages, and not looking back on it and thinking lesser of themselves, but accepting that life stage as it was, and it was what was meant for them, or that was what they could do with what they had. Accepting, something about acceptance. And I'm also getting like the 5 stages of grief. I believe it's 5. Something about that's coming through. Okay, spirit guides are here. They want them to also tune in and connect with the earth. There's insight, guidance, and purpose in them going out Something about Hailey specifically with regards to her having a connection, a special connection to animals. I think she needs to foster that more. And as I'm like just channeling, I'm feeling like there's some overall perspective that needs to be seen with the bird here, with the eagle. I feel like there's an overall perspective that needs to be addressed. There's an acuity and a skill that this individual has with regards to studying animals, studying the way they move. Shapeshifters often take on this form, or take on this mentality where they're able to it's like they're able to integrate themselves so completely into a mannerism that they find very that they resonate with in animals, and they're able to then it's like weave those things together in order to create something. There's lessons to learn basically in the animals surrounding them, in the circumstances surrounding them. There's some guidance there that they've been receiving, and there's also purpose in that. And I'm thinking of his album, Justin's album, Purpose. I feel like going back to his old music even would help him see things that he's experienced, and also understanding it to a new level. There's something about having an overall and broader perspective like this eagle does. We have upskill. This is work, career, and crossroads. They're stepping up in their career paths in a new measure. They're going to continuously do that, I feel like, with the Nine of Pentacles coming in earlier. So I feel like they need to really allow themselves to upskill and to not forfeit. I'm hearing forfeit the changes, forfeit the move, allowing themselves to gracefully enter into the next stage of life and not trying to hold themselves back for someone else. I almost get the sense that someone here feels like they need to stay in one section or one sector of something in order to allow the other party, like either Hailey or Justin, feels like they need to hold on and to wait or slow down, but they need to actually allow themselves to grow the way that they're meant to. This is the energy that I got with the Nothing of Course moon. I feel like there's no point in trying to slow themselves down or trying to meet someone. There's something about them needing to let things flow with the water element coming through, letting themselves tune in and connect to their higher selves, to their spirit team, specifically their ancestors, and balancing themselves out, because I feel like they need to relate. They need to be more present. And this is a very common thing that many of us have to deal with, is allowing ourselves to be in the present moment, to exist. To merely exist, but merely is not the word really that fits what I'm trying to say. It's about embracing the moment at hand. I feel like they need to be way more present and allow themselves to flow way more gracefully than they currently are. Have courage. It takes courage to do so. What are the angels saying in regards to this relationship? Because I feel like all around they're just telling them to accept, accept, accept. I'm getting this card coming through. It's the Five of Ariel. Yeah, the Five of Pentacles. You needn't go through your current challenges alone. Help is nearby. Negative thoughts create self-fulfilling prophecies. There's some negative thoughts going on between them. There's some negative thoughts, and there's a sense of like lack coming through. Someone's holding themselves back or holding themselves down in some way, or like restricting their ability to move forward or to grow or to expand. And I feel like this is the Queen of Cups, could be Hailey. Something about her needing to allow herself to expand beyond what she can understand or grasp at this moment in time, and that takes allowing it to happen, allowing the shifts to happen. I'm also getting Justice, number 8. So number 8 is about flowing through life, like we're saying. Archangel Ariel is with them, a very logical, very rational, very resourceful and bountiful archangel to work with. I feel like they need to work on their bounty separately a lot more. I feel like they've been trying for so long to keep it going with them together, but there's something about them needing to focus individually on each other and trusting that they'll meet each other at the end if they're meant to. Fight for justice and equality, rulings made in your favor. Don't give up. Don't give up, guys. There's going to be balance and karmic retribution in this situation. We have Two of Cups. Yeah, this relationship. It says 2 hearts dedicated to creating something wonderful, kindred spirits. Don't give up on those you love. You don't have to give up on them. If you feel like it feels like they're adjusting to some new their energetic upgrades are distinct. They're not growing in exactly the same way. We have the King of Pentacles or the King of Ariel coming out again. Ariel's here. From the 5 to the 10, or from the 5 of Ariel to the King. Your plans are working out well, professional and financial success, using resources wisely. They need to allow themselves to expand and grow. And I feel like they need to just be honest with themselves and just be real and say, like, in this marriage, how do we feel? Time for a celebration, abundant rewards for hard work, release yourself from burdensome situations. They need to stop putting some burdens on themselves. They need to live a little bit with this relationship. That's coming through. We also had another one come out, 7 of Swords. There is a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the best idea or the best answer. Review all the details. There's a better course of action. There's something that they were supposed to do that they did not do. There's something they're meant to do alone, or they're meant to do with someone else. King of Cups is here, which is it's safe to trust, the ability to accomplish many things at once. Follow your creative passions. 10 of Cups. Someone here needs to follow their passion. Someone here feels like they're meant to do something, whether it's international work, like pursuing a new trade or pursuing a new aspect of their career path. Like there's something new coming in for them and they need to accept the changes. Raphael is here. So Archangel Raphael is here heavily in this reading. I feel like Archangel Michael, what's interesting, there's only one card for Archangel Michael, but I almost feel like Michael is trying to allow them to, there's protection over their lives, but they're trying to focus in on the emotional satisfaction and their bounty financially more than anything in this reading. He's taking a step back to let Archangel Raphael and Ariel talk here. I feel like they need to allow themselves to move into this new season. There's something about, someone here has a gift that they really need to tap into that is going to be tested. Like they need to, their commitment to doing this thing is going to be tested, and it may affect the relationship in some way, but it doesn't have to be the end all be all of this relationship. They can, if they're willing to, they can fight for this. I'm hearing Geneva. Interesting. Geneva. I only know Geneva chocolate. I'm sure I know other things, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. Peace. They need peace. Release the past. There's a more enriching future coming. Let go and let God. And we have time to make a decision. Be clear on what you want and take action. Yeah, someone here is not taking action on something, and they need to allow themselves to pursue a new contract. It's a new contract, and I feel like it's Justin. He needs to accept this new contract. There's something exciting coming for him, and he's getting really stuck in his head. And his ancestors are way, like, they're behind him. They want to talk to him about this. And I feel like his archangels, those specific ones we got, are trying to tell him it's okay. Go for it. Go for it. Okay. Beautiful. So let's go into, let's see if there's anything about their healing process throughout their relationship. Is there anything that they've been healing lately, Spirit? Or anything that they've healed? Let's look at past energies. What have they healed, Spirit team, of Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber? I just felt like saying Hailey Baldwin, so they want me to address her as Baldwin. Truth. So something that they've healed in the past was truth. Clarity, Ace of Swords energy. It's about coming to the understanding of something. And it's funny, this is an eagle. This is the same animal that we saw. Wow, for 21 is significant for Hailey. Something happened to her significantly at 21. And also the number, the number 2 and 1 are very significant here. Also, when we had that spirit guide come through with regards to the eagle, someone here has an eagle totem, and I believe it's Hailey. I believe she got that in another reading. Wow. So, yeah, the truth of the situation, clarity came through. And I feel like they learned a lot of difficult and deep lessons. They went through the hardest time in the beginning, guys. I just want to say that because I'm energetically just feeling like they went through a lot of moments where they had to say, yeah, this happened. This is why. And I feel like it was really painful for them to come to terms with those truths. It wasn't easy. I hear that they were grasping at straws, like they were really trying to get through it. We also have honoring or movement into balance. They had to move into balance in the recent past. I also see here that they were ascending. We're continually on an ascension process. I feel like with a number of people in the collective, especially those that are more so of a higher vibration, I feel like they're of a higher vibration, and I feel like they're coming into more of their ascension process. This was really important for them to deal with, and I feel like the overall energy was sexual energy with regards to their healing. They went through a lot of sexual healing. They went through a lot of trauma with regards to free will and divine timing. I feel like they almost had like a conversation about predestination and about divine timing, like whether this was meant to be, or if they were always meant to, if they had a free will, or if this was always meant to be. I feel like sometimes they felt like they were at the whim of fate, and they felt like they were just supposed to be in each other's life for a reason. And I think they're starting to understand that they can create their own reality. They can create their own destiny also. They can be co-creators with the world, with the universe. They don't have to focus on doing what they're told. Something about that is coming through. Death and rebirth, Scorpio energy, it came through for them. This was their overall energy. So transformation was happening all the time with them. What are they now learning to heal? Wow, we have changes, letting the changes happen and recognizing it's going to be okay. Allowing themselves to see how they're all connected and woven together. That even if they were here at one point and they're now like somewhere else, right? They're still connected to who they are. They don't have to feel like they're a completely different person because they're in a new situation. And I think they're seeing a lot of signs. Look at this. They're seeing a lot of birds, guys. Number 31 is here. 2131. Interesting. They're seeing a lot of signs telling them to move in a certain direction. I'm hearing September. They might have heard something specific in September. We have reunion of souls. They're recognizing this as a soulmate connection. And they're recognizing past life experiences. So I feel like they had some past life experiences that they've recently maybe communicated with or communicated about, and they're allowing themselves to grow from the experience in a past life. Because the seven, usually the reunion of souls typically comes out when it's a soulmate connection, meaning someone who's learned valuable lessons from someone in a past life or has some intimate connection with them. You can learn a lot from people. You can be a soulmate that's karmic, a soulmate that's complementary. There's a number of soulmates here in this world, in this existence. We have new day. So they're starting something completely new, and they have to have like their blinders off is what their guides are telling me. Their blinders off. I don't know why I'm hearing Adventist. And I'm thinking of like a hospital or a church. That's so interesting. I'm not sure if there's someone around them that's Adventist, Seventh-day Adventist, or they've tried it in the past, or something like that is coming through, or there's some healing message that they've gotten from someone from a Seventh-day Adventist church or someone that they know. Ancient wisdom. Wow, they're tapping into their spirituality and their purpose real strong. New beginnings, guys. So they're transitioning out of some really difficult moments. I think they went through the shadow period of their relationship. Now they're stripping illusions. Now they're actually getting to the nitty-gritty of a new beginning. So they're getting really deep in their relationship. I think they're starting to talk about some bigger questions here. But we still have, at the end of the day, right, the cards that came through is that they're going to begin to individualize or separate from one another. And I see them not staying together. We have believe in the impossible. Free will is always at play, but they're starting to kind of, it feels as though something is creeping in. Some realization from this ancient wisdom card. I feel like there's some realization that they're going to come to through the thick of the woods. I'm hearing the word thicket. Like there's some really thick trees in their way, and they're not seeing a path through, and they need to just allow themselves to trust the flow and to let them dictate, let the flow help them get through and navigate the difficulties. A new romantic cycle begins, guys. New moon in Libra. Step out of your comfort zone. What we're saying here. Be bold and make the first move. There was one card that fell. Let's see if we can get it. Okay. We have the last one, a time to give rather than take. They're learning on how, they're looking at how they can give to each other rather than on expecting something. And I feel like they're not trying to be tit for tat. They're trying to be more like giving to each other regardless of anything else, because they know who they are individually. They have to come from a place of giving with their arms stretched out. Something about that is coming through, Virgo energy. Wow, what would you like to say about this new cycle awaiting, or this new romantic cycle, Spirit? Wow, so we have the Page of Cups, King of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. Let's see what that means. Bottom of the deck is the Magician, the Six of Cups, and the Devil. Is there someone else in between these two? Is there someone else that's going to come between the two of them on this current trajectory? Is there another person of interest here? We have the Eight of Pentacles coming through as the answer, the Justice card, the Ace of Cups, and the Death card. Wow. Wow, yeah. So there's someone that's going to come in between these two. Because when we have the Magician, the Six of Cups, and the Devil, there's some tendencies or temptations that are coming to the surface. I almost feel like someone in this relationship is manifesting a new beginning. And what I'm seeing here is with the Page of Cups and the King of Cups, either the person, one of them, Justin or Hailey, is quickly transforming from the Page of Cups, having some childish kind of love for someone, maybe someone who they've known long term, and it growing into the King of Cups. I feel like this is something that's they're hiding though, or not trying to disclose and talk about, but it's something that you can't hide anymore. One of them's not gonna be able to hide this. Can you tell me whose end this is coming from, Spirit? Okay, we have the Hanged Man, the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. Wow, this is going to really shake up their relationship, as you would expect. So who is the individual that's doing this, or that is feeling this way? Wow, we have the Seven of Cups. Both of them are feeling this way, is that correct? Yeah, look at that. Four of Wands is a yes. Both of them are feeling this way towards other people. Yeah, they've come to an understanding of it's like they have come to an understanding of the fate of their relationship, of the truth regarding the relationship in this dynamic. They're recognizing the beauty of it though, regardless, but I feel as though they're drifting away towards something more emotionally fulfilling. So that is what I have for Justin Bieber and for Hailey. I don't know why I was going to say Hailey Gomez. So keep me in let me know if the person ends up have the last name Gomez. That would be so like, that would be so ironic if that was the last name that she took. Wow. Okay, so that is what I have for them. Let's move into Justin and Selena Gomez here. So weird, right? Please like, share, and subscribe, guys, if you are appreciating this energy exchange, this reading. I really love doing this, and I am open to the energies that come through. I like to keep it real, or say whatever I feel or hear. When I say what I feel, it's usually based off of the cards and intuitive nudges, okay? So let's see what's going on. Let's move on. They're telling me to use the Tarot of the Divine for Selena and for Justin. So let's do that. Let's take this back. Alright, Selena and Justin. Spirit team, angels, ancestors. Let's get into Selena and Justin. Let's start off with their spread here. Okay. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors. At the time, I'm feeling this card really strongly, so I think it's their aura. Spirit, what is the aura surrounding this current situation? This is number 2. Let's just look at current energies right now. I feel like I need to do that first here. Spirit team, what is the areas for growth with regards to Selena and Justin? Areas for growth. What should they pay closer attention to? And what is their most likely outcome and trajectory going forward? What is their energy going forward? Okay, here we go. All right, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go into the past as well right now so that we can look at all of this together. So future energies or current energies are gonna be on the right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What was the aura surrounding Justin and Selena at the time when they had broken up? What was the aura surrounding them, this relationship in the past? Let's go into like more of spirit when they were together. What are the areas that needed more attention? What are their areas for growth together? What should they pay closer attention to? Wow. And what is the most likely outcome? Alright, so the bottom of the deck for Hailey, for Selena Gomez, and for Justin is the High Priestess, the Six of Cups, and the Four of Swords. Wow, so the High Priestess tells me there's a lot of intuitive nudging surrounding this relationship. There was something about, I'm hearing also power. There's like a power dynamic intuitively, mentally between the two of them. Six of Cups tells me usually it's about a soulmate connection or a deep nostalgic connection. These two had a nostalgic connection, something past life or something that has been quite impactful for them. Okay, they knew intuitively that they were soulmates. I'm just gonna say it. I feel like they are soulmates. Again, you can have a number of different types of soulmates. You can have complementary soulmates. You can have karmic soulmates, people that teach you very valuable lessons and you end up leaving or deciding, or energetically you both go in different directions. But I feel like they had a karmic connection, a karmic soulmate connection, and I'm also hearing karmic soul tie. We have the Four of Swords, resting, coming to a place of inner peace and tranquility about the situation, taking a break from each other, recognizing this outside of the relationship. I feel like they recognize this more outside of it than in the relationship itself. I feel like I'm hearing it was too turbulent to recognize in the relationship while they were together. And I feel like that's why Spirit's having me shift to asking the question, what were they like after the relationship ended, and what were they like now, or what were they like when they were together? These are 3 different situations. Let's look into the past. What was the current situation in the past between these two? We have the Hanged Man. Do you see how her legs, I've never really paid attention to that, how they're red? I feel like there was some blood restriction, there was a lot of restriction in this relationship. I feel like they felt cut off from themselves, and I'm also hearing cut off from their entirety. Like the rest of them, they felt like in order for them to be together, they had to leave or relinquish a part of their body, and that's really uncomfortable to think about. It's like cutting your arm off in order to stay with someone. They felt like they were losing something in this relationship in some manner, or I'm hearing fantasy. They tried to have a fantasy about each other, or to keep it going, like have this idea or dream that they would succeed and have this relationship that they wanted. They were very much in their heads, very much imaginative about this relationship here. With the Hanged Man, they had to see things from a new direction. So their situation in the past was looking at this from a whole new perspective. I feel like they really were caught off guard by each other, because usually the Hanged Man energy is when you come to the place where you have to you have to think of things differently. Otherwise, you're just gonna you won't be able to succeed and move forward. They needed to take time to deliberate on this relationship. They needed to take time and to see things from a whole new light. if anything, the positive so far, what I'm seeing that's positive about this is that they learned something new about themselves. This brought them out of their comfort zone, because I'm seeing that blood flow restriction, and it made them uncomfortable, but it taught them something deep about themselves and about this relationship. Okay. It tends to be the people that are very different from you that do this. It's like they show you something about yourself. But let's keep going. What are the areas that needed more attention? The Wheel of Fortune. Letting the wheel fall where it may, letting their joy last for however it was meant to last, and then moving on. They needed to pay more closer attention to touching base with if they're even supposed to still be on this ride. I'm hearing like, am I still supposed to be on this ride with you? Because I feel like we should have gotten off with everyone else. Something about them letting this kind of continue on and on and on. And I'm not sure if they were like into like fair rides or something like that, or they did something on a carousel, or they did something on a wheel. I'm just seeing a wheel as well as the Wheel of Fortune. So this is taken literally for them. Intuitively, there's something about that coming through. But also you're seeing a spider web, if you guys can see that. This person's in the midst of the spider web, this deity. And they're very joyful. So it's like seeing the joy in the impending doom. Does that make sense? That sounds so crazy, right? But this person's literally in the midst of a spider web. Usually the spider's coming to eat them, or coming to eat whatever prey or whatever is left in the web, and I feel like they're almost excited by that. This experience with them in the past was like a whirlwind relationship. It was something that caught them off guard, but they were down for the ride, and it was also like exciting. It was, I'm hearing orgasmic, I'm hearing spasmic. I don't know why that's coming through. I think that's just to help you guys see how kind of like they were really in the moment with each other when they met, but they needed to pay closer attention to like the tides shifting. What are their areas for growth together? We have the Ace of Pentacles. Their areas for growth together was actually operating in a committed relationship. I feel like they needed to work on actually knowing what it means to be in a committed relationship. I feel like neither of them were very good at it. They had their own fantasies, their own ideations about what it would look like and what it would entail, and I feel like they weren't being as realistic. And I'm also getting the sense that like I know a little bit, very little about both of them based on their readings, but I feel like Justin as a Pisces and Selena as a Gomez, Selena as a Cancer. I feel like that energy of like emotions, right, of intuitive nudgings is more of their energy here. Less of that was the Ace of Pentacles, because I felt like you can have all these earth placements. Don't think that I'm not saying you can have earth placements as well, but I feel like their energy is very much water, and more so in the experience more than it is about like trying to build some kind of long-lasting relationship. They had to work on that a little bit more than some other couples. And I'm hearing epoxy. So they had to like glue this together. They had to really work on keeping this together. And that was their difficulty. That was their area for growth together. What should they pay closer attention to is the world. Like I said earlier, guys, we have the world and we have the Wheel of Fortune, two wheels, like two things that are moving. I feel like they needed to get off the ride, and they didn't get off the ride in time. And so they felt like they were like, it was going on for too long. And there was like this feeling of resentment that bred or came in after they spent way too much time in a certain energy between the two of them that needed to be addressed and ended. They weren't willing to end some cycle, and they kept going round and round and round. And I'm hearing the song, "You're Turning Me Right, Baby, Right, Right, Round." They're just going all over. So the last one is, what is the most likely outcome? What was their most likely outcome and trajectory in the past? This is energies that they had brought to the relationship. It was the Chariot. Moving quickly out of this relationship. Moving on. Okay. Major Arcana. They have, wow. Most of this is Major Arcana. 4 out of the 5 cards are Major Arcana. This was about a huge transition period for them. They were going through a lot of, also travel, I feel like was a constraint for them because they were traveling a lot. But I feel like the Chariot also is about moving into a new cycle. The trajectory was getting off the ride because they were going a little too long. Spirit, what would you like to say with regards to their current energies here? What is the aura surrounding them currently? We have the Fool. They're more so carefree now, because the Fool is the first of the major arcana, number 0. Starting at ground 0 here. This is their current situation, starting over. Fool energy tells me that they're more so open. They're willing to take a leap in the sense of they're starting over very completely. I'm kind of caught off guard by the Fool, because it's like, whoa, they made a huge transition individually in order to get to a place where they're willing to be open and free with each other. What is the areas that need more attention, Spirit? Areas that need more attention is the Ace of Cups. Isn't that interesting? With me mentioning how their water energy was coming into play in their past energy, what needs more attention now is the love. The love is not there. The love is not there anymore. So the Ace of Cups is about a new, fresh, overflowing cup of love. And I feel like that's something that they don't have. They would need to have or pay attention to this, potentially for anything in the future, if that's even a thing. We're going to see as we keep going, but the Ace of Cups is what needed more attention, more love, more freedom in that love. I feel like they're more so open to taking like a leap with regards to starting fresh, but that doesn't mean they're delving into their emotional life, okay? Because this is what needs more attention in this relationship. What are their areas for growth together? Their areas for growth together is continuing to focus in on themselves, on their independence. This is what came out for Hailey and for Justin. 9 of Pentacles is something that's coming up for Justin, Hailey, and Selena. Focusing on their respective career paths and focusing on their bounty, on having like their own structure with life and with love. And having just way more, as they continue to grow, more individuality within their circles. This is all about independence, having your own bounty, like I said earlier. What should they pay closer attention to is the Ten of Swords. It's about the painful endings of the past. Okay, we know that there's been a lot of painful endings. They need to be very careful and wary of that. They need to pay closer attention to what happened in the past, because I feel like they transitioned out without addressing some things individually, like together. There were some things that they didn't have to talk about, but they addressed separately. And the Ten of Swords is coming in to say it's still here. There's still like a lot of torturous past energies that could come in, creeping in. Look at this, guys. Are you seeing that axe? And you seeing like these people dying in the water? That's really dark. It feels like just they had a lot of dead bodies, a lot of dead energies from the past that they would have to reprise to address in order to end it completely. And finally, what is our most likely outcome, guys, is the Page of Cups. Wow. Page of Cups energy. Childlike wonder, childlike faith. That's beautiful. They're going to heal a lot. Wow, my throat chakra closed up as soon as I said that. Childlike, they're going to be able to heal together. They're going to be able to rekindle something childlike and free and beautiful. Interesting. Can I have clarity on that? Can I have clarity on the Page of Cups, Spirit? Wow, they have a lot to talk about, guys. Wow, okay. So what we have here for clarity, whoa, okay. I kid you not, the Two of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Nine of Wands, a lot of wands, guys, the Eight of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. And as I'm saying this, it went away. That's how I know this is not me. Whenever it lingers, it takes a lot longer. Typically, it could be throat chakra stuff, or it could just be me being thirsty. That happens, but this is it completely shifted. Okay, we have Judgment. So these two are going to make a judgment call. We have the Empress, Two of Wands, and the Page of, or the Knight of Wands, moving forward towards a decision. They're going to make a decision with each other to address some things that were really hurtful. I feel like they have a very impactful relationship here, and I'm feeling more so Selena's energy of her standing her ground between the two of them, and Justin being more like relinquishing some kind of control or trying to control things, and coming more from her, from Selena's court, any reconciliation. They're gonna have to go through a number of things. I feel like I'm just getting yeah, it's coming back. Oh my gosh, I'm getting the energy that she has to be open if she wants to be. This is free will at play. If she decides to be open, wow, are they gonna go for a ride, a journey here? Because the Seven of Wands is about her standing her ground, staying stable, staying focused on her career, focused on her life, and not getting too sucked up in this of what happened in the past. Page of Cups is about, like, you know, a youthful energy. It's about like a carefree energy. They're going to become more carefree as time goes on, because I think they're going to heal more as time goes on, regardless of whether they do it together. This is all about free will. But I feel like if they were to do it, they would have to go through some roadblocks moving forward towards a lot of, I'm just hearing karmic energies. Nine of Wands typically doesn't have to mean karma. It doesn't mean karma to me. But when I see it now, I'm seeing all of these skulls that are on stakes. Like all of this history, all of this past information and insight. I feel like they'd have to climb through to get to the house behind it. So I feel like it's going to be really hard, really difficult. A lot of Eight of Swords energy, feeling stuck and isolated. These emotions are very intense. Are they going to go through it together on this current trajectory, Spirit? Are they going to be willing to go through it? Wow, that just flipped. Okay. Two of Swords. They don't know yet. They're at a crossroads. I'm getting the Eight of Cups, the Strength in reverse, and the King of Swords. I don't know if they're willing to be vulnerable with each other. Vulnerability is necessary. If they're willing to be vulnerable with each other, it'll be a yes. But it's all about whether or not they're going to be willing to get to the nitty-gritty again with regards to this relationship. They'd find a lot of happiness if they did. They would find more like peace about the situation in the past if they decided to. The Queen of Swords, though, is Selena's energy. She's not open to it as much. I feel like it would have to be in her court. The ball is in her court. The tower is in her court. She would have to be the one to strike up this decision to say, hey, let's talk about this. Let's go back. And I feel like she's not willing to right now. This is going to take some time. Two of Cups, Two of Swords, though, is hopeful in the sense that there's a decision to be made and it has not been made yet. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me about this, Spirit? Anything else that I might need to add? Okay, we have two. Whoa, Queen of Cups is coming through. That's Selena's energy. It's just water energy primarily. Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, and the Ace of Swords. She's going to come to clarity, though, about her emotions, about how she feels, and I feel like she's a little too indecisive right now. Seven of Cups is, to me, the antithesis of the Ace of Swords. It's when you're so bound by illusions that you don't know where to go. I think she's going to have to muddle through all of her illusions first with regards to him before she can address the Tower. Is there a time frame that you would like to mention, Spirit? Time frame at all? Queen of Wands. They're really trying to enforce her independence here. Is there a time frame, a number that you would like to address? I'm hearing 2 years. Let's see what card came through. Ace of Wands. She would be willing to address it in 2 years. And address her coming at it from a higher perspective, of being more mature, of being able to pursue something and to manifest something with the Magician, the Page of Wands, and the Hierophant. But yeah, 2 years is what I'm getting. So let's see what happens in 2 years. There seems to be a decision that can be made on this current trajectory, but free will is at play. So we will see. Let's look at her and Justin's archetypes here. I love this deck. This is Tarot of the Divine. Beautiful artwork, beautiful stories as well. There's so much to talk about with people, because we all have so many parts to us. We're so multifaceted. I feel like this card's important. Seven of Wands and the Six of Swords. They're very dedicated to standing their ground individually. They want to move into calmer waters, though. They know that that's what they need. I feel like they already tried to do that, but there's some level, there's something about them trying together that will really do something for the relationship, or at least for the past. I don't know, there's something about, you don't need someone's forgiveness in order to move forward, but I feel like there's almost this need from Justin's side in order to move forward emotionally. What messages do you have for Selena and Justin? Whoa. A time for healing, guys. This is a time for healing for them. What messages, Spirit Team, do you have for Selena Gomez and for Justin Bieber? Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber, this current moment in time. What is your advice, Spirit Team? Nature Spirits. Same card that came through for Hailey. It's time to release negativity. These guys are karmic. Wow. Their relationship is karmic. They needed to go through this. Your dreams need a practical plan. They need to make a practical plan. And they need to also be kind of like Taurus energy, letting things happen, letting it flow. Being very abundant and being very willing to be generous with each other. The end of a tough cycle approaches. The tough cycle between Selena Gomez and Justin is ending soon. The answers you need are coming. Gemini energy, communication coming through at its finest. What do you need to release? We have emotions are running high. And a new romantic cycle begins. Whoa. Okay, that can mean a lot of things. So let's get into that. What is their trajectory, Spirit, in regards to whether or not they may pursue something in the future romantically? What is their trajectory looking like? What is the energy going to be like moving forward between the two of them? What is it projected to be like, Spirit Team? Thank you so much for these messages. Okay. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A lot of energy in the room. A lot of energy here. So let's get into it. This is what we have. First one is the Eight of Pentacles. Their trajectory is working on this relationship and working very diligently at it. Ace of Wands is about being inspired. Wow. These two have some emotions towards each other if they're still willing to work on something that was so long standing, or something that has happened for quite some time. Like there was some time between, not between him getting married, but more so between them separating, Selena and him. We have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Bottom of the deck is the Emperor, the Queen of Cups, and the Ace of Swords, guys. I see them partnering together, believe it or not. Believe it or not. As crazy as that sounds, I see them collaborating. Hardcore. I see them collaborating in the future together. And it's interesting, I feel like she's going to initiate it. To kind of like squash beef, I feel like that's going to be something they do in the public. I feel like it's very risky in a sense, because it's going to bring up a lot of people that are going to be like, oh my gosh, this and that. But this is something in the future. I feel like with the Page of Pentacles, this is an opportunity that they might have to work on something together. It doesn't mean that they're going to have to be out and about together, if that makes sense. It could be something that they both put their creativity into, like a project. And it could be a group of people, but they're two people in that project. Does that make sense? There's definitely an opportunity for that coming through. I'm also feeling this card, Four of Swords. It might come after a really long hiatus or a long break, but I'm getting this card flipped over. Only one flipped over, 4 wands. So yeah, they're going to take some time separately. I feel like this is going to be something that they do separately. Like it's going to be like a song, for instance, that's done in 2 different places, and it's going to be put together. But it's not going to be like they're in the same room. But I feel like they're eventually going to come together at some point and actually have some civil conversations, civil like interactions with each other, and people are going to eat that up, guys. People are going to eat this up. I'm getting the number 7 coming through. It might bring some confusion, a lot of confusion and turbulence in regards to the relationship with Hailey. But I feel like there's something about this being healing and cathartic. Something about this is going to help them. With the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, though, typically I think of the Knight of Pentacles as independence, having a bounty. I feel like there might be some sense of them feeling like they're losing touch with their money, their career path. As a result of this opportunity, I feel like they might be even more alienated from people because they're going to take sides. But I feel like it's going to produce like some quick movement towards something else. What is it? Three of Swords. This is going to cause some dissension. We have the Six of Wands, and then we have the World sideways, which tells me that it's going to address something that needs to transition. Usually the World is about moving into a new cycle. I feel like with it sideways, it's saying that something's going to be delayed. Okay. They're not going to see the success of this new start right away because there's going to be some people that are going to be really against this. And I'm hearing Dillon, D-I-L-L-O-N. Very defensive energies coming through about this relationship, about it happening again, or about them getting hurt again. But Justice is here, the Devil, and the Page of Cups. Their hearts, the way that they feel deeply about each other, there's some hurt, but there's something about their love between each other. There's something that's still there, guys. Some childlike wonder, some nostalgia. Call it what you may. It's still coming through in this reading. So they're going to end up working together. Now, in regards to like a relationship, Spirit, is that something that you project to happen on this current trajectory? Is a romantic relationship something that may happen, or rather is projected to happen on this current trajectory? Wow. So we have the Queen of Cups here, King of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, Eight of Cups, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords. Whoa, okay. Spirit team, can I have one card from the Millennial Tarot for this answer? Do you see this on this current trajectory moving towards a romantic relationship or partnership? I'm feeling these cards. So we have the High Priestess, the Four of Cups, and we have the Page of Cups again. They're going to come through as like a brother and sisterly energy. I don't see them going into a relationship again. It's more like a camaraderie. And I feel like they're going to more so squash the beef more in the future, in the coming years, in the coming months. I feel like they're going to just kind of try to do it discreetly though. They're going to focus on, they're going to try to avoid looking romantic or being interested in each other in the public because of the backlash. They're going to focus in on being friends, work besties here, focusing on partnering with each other in music, reaching for the stars, addressing what they want to create with their music, focusing on their careers. And I feel like that's the best that we can expect. High Priestess, Four of Cups, and Page of Cups is more so like recognizing someone's impact in your life and moving forward and creating something like as far as a work partnership here. So that's what I expect for them. That's what I have for now. I'm gonna be going into another video because I feel like my camera might shut off, but I will see you guys very soon. Okay guys, so to close, let's close up with Hailey, with Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber's Archetypes, because I feel like there's a couple of things coming through. I'm hearing Justice and I'm hearing Devil. So in between the two of them, someone here felt like they were the devil and someone here felt like they were Justice in a relationship. Very interesting dynamic. But let's see what's going on. Let's look at just consistent energies between them. Spirit, what is this for? For Selena? Okay. Let's look at Selena's light attributes. What are Selena's light attributes consistently through this relationship? What are Selena's light attributes consistently through this relationship? Well, there's some that are flipping, okay. What are Selena's, wow. Okay. What are her karmic or shadow attributes that we need to be aware of? Okay. Well, I'm getting a story, okay. I'm gonna tell you guys in a moment here when everything comes out. Is there anything else here? I think Justin is next. Has to be, right? Okay. What are his light attributes? Okay, wow. What are his karmic and shadow attributes, Spirit? Oh my gosh. Please let me know in the comments below if Justin's cheap. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, because I like to keep things open, and I like to always go through light and dark attributes because we all have them. No one is exempt, and I'm not trying to bully, be negative with anyone here. I'm just gonna ask you like it is. I'm getting that he has something about money coming through, like with regards to being very protective of his money. Even though he has the money to spend, he's a bit frugal. So with Selena, we're getting God here. It says benevolence and compassion, recognizing the internal force within yourself and others. She got this archetype on her own. So within the relationship between her and Justin, she was exactly like how she would be on a regular day. There's aspects of herself that were very much the same. She was very benevolent, compassionate, and she saw something beyond her. She saw something beyond herself, her body. She saw her spirit. She was very spiritual when they met. Even if she didn't have like an allegiance to a religion, you can have a relationship outside of that. She felt like she had a relationship just with her own inner spirit. And I'm hearing her inner song. And I'm hearing Brenda's song. I'm not sure if she knows her at all. Samaritan's coming through as well. Refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Selena was very open to energies that were not deserving of her time and her energy. I'm just going to be honest. She was more so, when I think of the Samaritan, it's not like that. I don't think of it as someone you'd rather ignore. But in this attribute, it's focusing on the people that are usually the ones that are typically downcast, or the ones that are marginalized. She was very much open to the other people who are feeling or sensing, experiencing some form of suffering. And I think she recognized something in Justin, and she had a lot of sympathy towards him for his experiences in the public eye, because she's understood that. And I feel like she almost knew that if she were to get into a relationship with him or anyone in the industry, that she would have that issue where people would bring it up, would talk about them, would make this like page 6 news type thing, like just making a big fuss about it. And I feel like she's aware of that. Interesting. She's also the liberator. So she has freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs. Also, releasing negative thought patterns. She was a very free spirit. She did not like controlling people. She was not about controlling people. She would rather empower people. She would rather encourage people than to put them down or control them. She was all about empowering and about freedom. Very free-spirited person. Despite whatever people were trying to say, she was very much, a rebel. Challenges authority to affect social change, and rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. This is what I'm talking about with her inner spirituality. She was more so involved with the heart and the foundational aspects of religion rather than on the organized sense of it, or secularized. There's something about her feeling more like, maybe not secular because that's the opposite, but like she was more so interested in in creating her own dynamic perspective of spirituality, of empowerment, of integrating different experiences that people had that were marginalized, different experiences of people that she cared about or had friendships with and had relationships with. And she grew to take on her own foundation. She had her own foundation on loving people, on being there for people, on being compassionate, but she was not very focused in on religion. We also have 2 more coming through. Hero, heroine, self-empowerment, passion for a journey of self-empowerment. Very self-empowering. Knight, we have loyalty, romance, chivalry, a love of honor. She's a little old school. I feel like that really strongly. She's more so old school with regards to the feminine energy being like honored and cherished. She wanted a knight. She was more so very chivalrous, very sweet. Either way, the knight archetype is hers. So she still takes on some like boyish charm, some energies of being very sweet and very loyal to her partners. For her shadow attributes, though, we have fear of intimate union. She was fearful of sex, so she was very slow to start having an intimate relationship with Justin, and they want us to know that. That might have caused some issues with regards to Justin having a very overactive energy. I feel like he had a more so overactive sexual energy coming through, and that might have put her off a bit or made her feel like she had to submit to that to show him that she loved him. But I feel like she recognized the codependency, recognized some issues with regards to how he confronted her about that, and I feel like she tried to stay stuck or focused on being that rebel, right, of standing up for herself or empowering herself. But I must admit, we all fall, or sometimes we fall short of what we want and expect or deserve. So I feel like she might have faltered at times and regrets that. But she did try to kind of distance herself from him. She was not as interested in getting into sex with anyone at, early on at all. Gossip thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. She had a tendency of speaking about certain things. At first, this feels like an earlier on energy between the two of them. She might have had a tendency of relaying things to her friends that he would say that hurt her, things that he said that were crazy, outlandish. She would share them. Companion, betrayal by misusing confidences, again, loss of personal identity. So she had a tendency of losing herself in this relationship between her and Justin in the past. She lost who she was, or felt like she was losing herself. And I'm hearing fish out of water. Felt like she was just in a situation that was not beneficial or helpful to her. She felt like she was losing air. She wasn't able to truly be herself with him. Betrayal of misusing confidences. I feel like she had to pick sides with him at times too, with relationships with her friends. Her friends were affected by this dynamic between them. Okay, so I had to do that in order to prevent my camera from overheating. It's unfortunate, but let's keep going. For Justin, we had a number of them come out. He was a scribe. He has a tendency of preserving knowledge and information. He's good at remembering things. And I'm also hearing offenses, and this is something I constantly get for celebrities with regards to the scribe energy. There's just a number of them, and I'm seeing the word sailor for him. So I feel like he has a sailor mouth, but also he tends to hold on to offenses, keeps a record of things that were said. He remembers very well. He has a distinct memory here. Interesting, and I don't know why I'm getting that. When there aren't jugs involved, he remembers. I don't know if he's taken some things in the past before. Child orphan is his archetype in this relationship. That's independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Didn't we get this for Hailey? For him, when we're talking about Justin and Hailey, he's the same way as he was with Hailey. But here's the thing. He's in his light attribute with Selena. He was in his karmic with her. So that tells me that he doesn't feel quite as abandoned or act out on his abandonment issues or experiences the same way with Selena. He was more so empowered by her. And also I feel like he was in a better place where he was open. And I think he was learning to conquer his fear of surviving. I think he fell into more so like a karmic energy with regards to Hailey. I think sometimes she would placate his outbursts or his arguments, and I feel like she needed to be more upfront and like empowering of like saying, hold up, I'm going to stand my ground and I'm not going to take what you're saying right now. I feel like she had to do that in the beginning more, and I don't think she did it enough, and I feel like he ended up in the karmic attribute of this card. But with Selena, it's in the light. He's a father. When you see this archetype come through as a father, it means that he has a talent for creating and supporting life, as it states, but he's also a positive guiding light in a tribal unit. He has fatherly energy coming through, and that just reiterates that energy of wanting to be a father. I feel like he thought about it with Selena. I think he really did think about it, and he was already being fatherly towards her. I don't know if she also has some connection with him in the past life, where he was a father figure, as weird as that sounds. But sometimes people come back in different forms to teach you things about it. Not saying that the emotions were the same. It's not going to be like that in most cases. But I feel like, hopefully, but I feel like he was more so a fatherly energy towards her, maybe resonated with Selena's father in some way. I don't know if Selena's father was in the picture or not. The Hermit's here. Seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. What's interesting is that even if the father, for some reason I need to say this, even if the father doesn't like him, if Selena's father is in the picture and doesn't like him, it can still mean that he doesn't like him because he's like him. Sometimes fathers tend to not like guys that are similar or remind them of themselves. But let's keep going. That's something I can hear about in the comments if there's someone that knows anything about the relationship there. Monk Nun. We have selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. He had a single-minded dedication to his spirituality. I feel like he was more so open to the confines, if you could call it that, of some religion, but he was open to it. He was very, 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 very devout in his heart about committing to something spiritually. We have Saboteur coming through. Highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. She's the hero and he's the Saboteur. These energies are kind of different. He needs to be careful of being someone that sabotages a relationship or a situation, and I feel like he just was aware of it with them. Between the two of them, he was aware that he sometimes would sabotage this relationship, and I'm seeing that hot balloon. I feel like sometimes he had to let the air out and go back on land, because he would sometimes get so in his head, so in his mental space about something, making up an illusion about the situation between them, that she needed to help ground him in some way. And I think he learned a lot with her. Karmic attributes are bully. That's about concealing deep fears behind verbal and physical abuse. He was abusive. I feel like it was more so verbal abuse. I don't know why I'm seeing pushing though. So there was a lot of verbal abuse. So if she would get in his way as well, he may have pushed her before to get out of his way. But I'm getting mostly verbal. So there might have been some really hurtful words said between them. Meant to, when he felt backed in a corner, he would say those things to feel like he was in control. Midas Miser comes through here to tell me that he was more so hoarding money and wealth, as I said earlier. I feel like he was afraid of losing something. He was very possessive as well of her. That's coming through. Possessive of who she was with, possessive of who she was seeing. He was a little bit more insecure with her at the time. Avenger is coming through as well. Resorting to violence in the name of a cause. So you know how like in the story, the Christian... number of Christian or Old Testament stories, sometimes they talk about like violence, right? Resorting to violence in the name of a cause for the right reasons, for Christ, not for Christ, because New Testament is more so about Christ. There was a shadow of Christ in all of it. But what I'm saying is they were more so open to doing something big in the name of a cause that was greater than themselves, namely God, or in some way. So I'm feeling like he was like that. He would sometimes talk about religion and sometimes twist it into a way where it made sense to him, and he would resort to violence because he was so, he felt hurt, felt thwarted by something. So if she offended him in some way, he's like, you know what you're doing? You're going out of our relationship and you're doing something like X, Y, and Z. And he would truly stand behind this cause and say, it's like you're doing something spiritually wrong as well. I feel like he's an avenger. Like he just was like all about justice. And if he felt like you weren't being justified or doing something right towards him, he was the person that needed the justice, okay? That's coming through. Poet is the last one here. Turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. He needs to be careful, and he needed to be careful, past tense as well, with their relationship with regards to speaking through his music in a way that was ill or it was very negative, and it affected how people perceived Selena, because he has a way with words, right? We already know that. So he had a way of lyrically turning a situation on its head and making it look incredibly bad because of his emotions at the time. Sometimes our emotions need some time before we can understand them better. And I feel like sometimes he would say things, write things in a moment of heated passion or anger. So that's what we have for them. Let's go into the next thing, which is their ancestor messages. So I also wanted to add something here that I thought was really important. It's the beggar archetype at the bottom of the deck before I start into the ancestor messages here. So I noticed that the beggar archetype was at the bottom, and it seems like an overall energy for us as well as the collective. I want to thank OG Quantum Storm for mentioning some really, really great topics and things that I want to touch base with, because I feel like there's a lot of prophetic insight from that message, or messages I got. So anyway, beggar, right? I think that when it says confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. I feel like they were both trying to look at their inner power and their inner prowess rather than on depending on one another to the exclusion of effort, of depending and being so needy in the relationship. These two, Selena and him, needed to be very careful with being needy. I feel like Selena came to a more mature place with regards to her compassion than Justin, because I feel like she recognized the need for self-empowerment faster than he did. He still wanted her and needed her to show him that. And even now I'm losing my voice, which tells me that there's a lot of throat chakra stuff going on between these two. Same with Hailey and Justin. So let's see what healing messages are coming through. Look at that, guys. We have 21. 21 came through for, and I'm thinking 21 Savage for some reason. 21 Sacred Space. So there's something about the number 21 with regards to Justin. I wonder if he's seeing that synchronicity a lot, like 12, 12, 2, and 2. The number 1 and 2 are significant. They needed to create sacred space for each other, of recognizing their power individually before they came together. They were young, okay? I recognize that. These couples were young. They're still young. They're letting go, or at least that's the energy of what needs to be addressed, is letting go. There was a need to not look at the negative side of life, to not look at good or bad, good and evil all the time with regards to people. There can be entities that you look at that way, that is fine, but more so about the duality of a person, and more so the polarity as well, of like how they operate in their light and their shadow. What do they lean onto more? There was a need for them to see when they were leaning on each other to the exclusion of effort in a very codependent manner. They needed to act on their masculine energy, allow themselves to be seen, and allow themselves to continue to grow as people and to heal. They were healing a lot of ideas towards sacred energy, and that could include your body sacredly. So I feel like Selena showed him a lot about sacred energy in regards to like virginity, or regards to like keeping yourself celibate. Celibacy is coming through. That was really important for these two. I'm not sure if they did it, but they needed that. Letting go. And also omens. Letting go of the need to prove their love for each other, but of recognizing it there. And that it's always, that it was there, you know, despite the inconsistencies and the toxicities at times. Look at that, guys. Mirrored numbers 12 and 21 are here. Truth came out for Hailey. Seeing the truth of the situation was necessary. Stripping illusions. So these two, they're meant to strip illusions. They're meant to start into a new beginning in their own way with regards to being at least partners, work partners, focusing on peace between the two of them, squashing the beef more as time goes on. For some reason, the number 7 is significant. But yeah, letting go. Wow, it's all good. Seeing that everything worked out for their good, no matter what at the end of the day. We have one card that fell. It's feminine energy. Look at that, guys. Masculine and feminine energy. I feel like Justin's more honoring of feminine energy now, because I felt more feminine energy from his end. And I feel like she's more open and free with regards to masculine duality. Look at that. That was what we were talking about. It's taught them a lot of lessons, this relationship, on masculine and feminine energy and what it truly means. It doesn't have to mean demure, it doesn't have to mean weak when it comes to feminine energy. It's about nurturing, abundance. Masculine energy is not all about forcing something. It's not really like that. It's more so about openness, excitement, pursuing something. There's something about that coming through, and I feel like they need this emotional release going forward, like letting themselves cry, letting themselves see each other cry, and actually addressing the situation. 444 on the clock, stability is coming for them. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope this helps you gain a better understanding of these two. I actually still have to do an ancestor message. Spirit, whoa. 3 cards came through. Connecting with animals is something that I feel like are needing to invoke. Spending time with their spirit guides. I feel like they have animal totems that are trying to reach out to them. I'm getting a Native American vibe, more so with Selena. So there's some Native American energies coming through with regards to deer or elk. Something like that's coming through. I don't know, I'm hearing Belgium as well. So I'm not sure if she had a past life in Belgium, but we have also laugh and have fun. They're needing to laugh and have fun here. They're needing to answer the call. Their souls have been calling them to heal on a greater level than they already have, and they just need to explore that. How that looks to them will be up to them. Upskill as well. This is what Justin and Hailey had. Focusing on their career paths in the meantime. Focusing on what they want to create. Finding their voice. Whoa. Is there anything else, Spirit? I feel like these 2 are the last ones. We have back to the basics. They need to start again, as we had earlier with the Fool energy, and shining brightly, letting themselves be exactly who they are today, because they're not who they were in the past, and being thankful. So that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Check out my memberships if you guys like my content, you'd like more in-depth readings. See what I have coming up soon. And also I have my books open for the rest of October as well. And I will be continuing on from part 1 and going into part 2 very soon. So I hope you will stay tuned, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.